朝間です。朝間連邦。おお、あれ八ヶ岳まで見えますよ。
So with the imaging platforms and radios in place, it's now time to start constructing panels. And so I think it's really great for a fast full question. Just to keep us up.
Perfect, thanks for that, Matt. We do have a couple of concerns about your audio right now. It seems to be drifting in and out, so if you could just make sure that your voice is nice and loud, I'm sure the audience appreciates that. So the third question we do have for the audience right now is, are you currently performing multiplex IHC? And please select one of the following answers. Two answers you have here are yes, 3 colors plus nuclear temperature change, yes, 4 to 5 colors plus nuclear temperature change, yes, more than 5 colors plus nuclear temperature change, and no, planning that haven't started, and the last answer would be no. So if the audience would please get their answers in right away, that would be greatly appreciated. I will be closing this poll shortly. And I will be closing the poll right about now and sharing the answers with the audience. So 27% of you voted yes, 3 colors plus nuclear temperature change, 9% of you voted 4 to 5 colors plus nuclear temperature change, 1% voted yes, more than 5 colors, and 41% of you, majority of you voted no, planning that haven't started yet, and 21% of you voted no, not at all. So now I will be hiding this question and giving control back to Matt here. Matt, you can really early.
Okay, thank you. Hopefully this sounds better. Yeah, I guess that.
Yes, it sounds a lot better. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, so in regard to panels, there's of course a number of different areas that would be of interest that you focus in on within working on developing a large series of panels in areas such as immunotherapy, lung cancer, around Alpha and TET, obvious candidates in breast cancer like DR, PR, and HER2, love of course her family members, etc. So for today's presentation, I'm going to be focusing in on immunotherapy, and there's a lot of interesting areas you can look at around tumor infiltration, checkpoint proliferation, and self-characterization. Today, I'm going to be focusing in on checkpoint control. So just really briefly, we have a quick introduction. The first concept here is focused on empowering your immune system to fight cancer. This is of course a very hot field that's really exploding with success with CTLA-4 and PD-1 decline. Well, the answer to this for a long time is struggling with the question, why doesn't your immune system take care of problems with the tumor itself? And obviously part of the issue is that the tumor is self-derived, however there are a lot of changes that involve a number of neoantigens that the immune system should be able to home in on. In the end, it comes down to the concept of immunoediting, which consists of 3 phases: elimination, equilibrium, and escape. And so in the beginning, the immune system can challenge the tumor in order to eradicate it. However, when this isn't perfectly successful, the tumor and the immune system find themselves in a balance, which is the equilibrium phase. The tumor is under constant pressure from the immune system, which drives selection of immune resistant clones, which attack takeover. This leads to the escape phase, where tumors can propagate even in the context of infection. So the husband on to figure out ways to assist the immune system, and long story short, in areas that so quickly focusing on the manipulation of immune checkpoint control proteins, amongst other approaches, vaccination, and T-cell engineering. And so typically immune checkpoints help maintain self-tolerance and protect tissues during the immune response. But it's the dysregulation of the checkpoint protein that is needed to be resistant. And so there are a number of different checkpoints, many of which are highlighted on this slide. This is a figure from a few parallels review from a couple of years ago, where we have a T-cell on the bottom, and the antigen presenting cells depicted up top. And here right in the middle, we have a TCR, which will activate the T-cell in the context of the signal from T-cell. Everything else in the slide functions to fine-tune this response. Everything else in the slide is an immune checkpoint control protein. So all these targets are potential therapeutic targets of interest. And so we have, despite the fact that these targets have been around for a very long time, we notice the gap in the field, which is today that there's a lack of high-quality, commercially available IHC antibodies for these cancer therapy targets. And so we developed objectives to generate a comprehensive pipeline of antibodies, double monoclonal antibodies that are IHC and strong focus on collaboration. And so as we're going through all of these targets, we decided to initially prioritize PD-L1, a very hot target, where IHC is the primary development objective, looking at the activity. And so while the presentation doesn't focus on antibody validation, I just wanted to make a couple of comments about the general ways in which we're evaluating antibodies, which is that we rely on Western blot screening to find positive and negative lysates before moving into IHC testing, where we start with subpellets, often find positive and negative subpellets, before taking a step into actual tissue testing. So in the case of PD-L1, started with a lot of Western blot work looking at herpes C99 cells, C2, which refers to PD-L1, as well as TC3 cells. And we also take advantage of transfection systems for cross-reactivity testing. Here, looking at COD7 cells, non-transfected or transfected with PD-L1, PD-L2, or other family members, B7H3 and B7H4, and then the Western is on using our PD-L1 clone B1L3N, along with Actin and VINTAG, that are cloned by PD-L1 very nicely, and has no interaction with related family members to show that it's specifically by PD-L1. Looking at the line, we have to take advantage of cell pellets. So here, using similar cell models, herpes C99 and TC3, do a nice staining and herpes C99 cells. And this gives us confidence in the fact that our antibody can perform the IHC setting before taking the move into tissue. Initially, we have to take advantage of human placenta, which is a tropical PD-L1, where we see staining of the tissue tropoblast of the placenta, but not necessarily with the stroma of the line infection. And we also do cancer tissue staining, one example shown here of lung cancer with nice strong staining of the center here. So we take advantage again of the cell pellets as well as the normal and cancer tissue both work. And then to the literature, we also get nice post-release validation. This example here illustrating PD-L1, clone E1L3N, is able to bind PD-L1 in the tumor, shown up here in panel A. But it's also able to bind immune cells in the stroma as well as alveolar activation shown down here in C. And then negative is shown on the bottom right in D. So moving forward, we released the PD-L1 clone E1L3N about a year and a half ago. We're preparing to release follow-up set of PD-L1 IHC antibodies. Some example data shown here. We have a rather monoclonal E1JPJ that binds PD-L1 in the extracellular domain. And we're gearing up to release a mouse and a human PD-L1 antibody that binds PD-L1 in the intracellular domain. And some example data shown here for both, again, for staining in the placenta, and then the use of cancer examples, human colon of top 3 JPJ, and human lung cancer shown here for the mouse monoclonal. And so specifically, we're also preparing to release mouse monoclonal for PD-1 clone EH33, as well as a rat monoclonal that was developed for PD-L2, which is called B7UHC, that will be commercially available later this month. And then finally, to round out the portfolio for now, we recently released our clones to B7H3 and B7H4, and very recently released our Visa antibody clone D1LTJ. We're gearing up to release an IDO IHC antibody as well as TIM3, and we've also released CD40 ligand. So all these antibodies in our hands at this point, it creates an opportunity, of course, to start putting them together into multiplex panels. And so in addition to making it available, we'll also start working on protocol development for a multiplex setting. And so So I'm going to show an example looking at immune checkpoint control expression. Here focusing on PD-L1, B7H4, and B7 for immune checkpoint control protein, along with CD8, which is a marker of effector T cells, and keratin, which is a tumor marker. So the antibodies we're using are clones PD-L1, D1L3N, B7H4 clone D1 and D9, B6 clone D1 LTJ. For CD8, we're using clone CD8/144B, which is a mouse monoclonal, and then also pan-keratin, which is a mouse monoclonal as well. So again, using the serum-based approach to species-based all these antibodies no longer matters to the stuff. So from here, I'm going to show some optimization of how we put the panels together, and then I will show some sample data from one screen, a small cohort of breast and ovarian cancer patients. So the actual workflow in developing these panels is pictured on the top, where it all begins with IHC antibody development. From there, we retitrate antibodies here by detection system before moving into order optimization experiment. From here, we then do a mix and match experiment with antibody fluorochrome pairing. Ensure we are pairing with antibodies with fluorochrome, especially really important step because it enables you to control the signal intensity of the antibodies or panel because you pretty strong antibodies. We then move to control cell health and before moving to position. So using PD-L1 as an example, the few optimization experiments shown here, where we have our PD-L1 clone 1L3N titrated on carbon 9 cells, 3. Using antibody 1 titrated down to 1,000. And we're using this antibody experiment here at 1,400, which gave us an optimal balance of signals. So here we're looking at the immune flux intensity per cell. So we're getting carbon 299, which is blue, and CD3 is in red. Looking at how PD-L1 performs in different positions in staining series. First position versus second versus third versus fourth versus fifth. And you can see in the case of PD-L1, we actually have an increasing signal intensity as we go deeper into the staining series. And the green line here is the intensity signal to noise for each step. And then finally coming to the fluorochrome comparison, here we have PD-L1 in context of Electus 350, 50, Electus 594, Site 3, and Site 5. You can see there's quite a dramatic impact in terms of signal intensity depending on which fluorochrome you're using for each antibody. So clearly you get the strongest signal with Site 3 for PD-L1 and the weakest signal with Electus 350. And so this is mind, we optimally created a balanced panel. These in the first channel is Site 3, which I'll be showing as color yellow. The second position we have CD8, Site 5, I'll show that as red. The third antibody in the series is B7H4 and Electus 4594, which is shown as red. Then we go into PD-L1, which is in the fourth position with 50, and the color will be green. And then rounding out we have keratin in the fifth channel, the Electus 350, which will be shown in cyan. So with the panel in place, we now jump over to human tonsil, which is a nice control tissue for mechanistic markers. Here we can see keratin in cyan. Well, scatter cells, T7, PD-L1, and so we feel comfortable with how this panel is performing and how it should show in control tissue. Like the tonsil that's shown here, we then took this to screening a set of breast cancer and ovarian cancer samples that we have. So there's 12 breast cancer samples and 22 ovarian cancer samples. So in the next few slides, I'm just going to show a few example images that we've generated, starting with breast cancer. Here we're looking again at PD-L1 on green. DISA is in sporadic cells, that's in yellow. B7H4 is in magenta, which you can see is overlapping with keratin, which is shown here on cyan. And again, TAPI is typically saying the reason for the all the cells. So here in the first image, you can see an interesting observation where B7H4 is co-expressed with keratin, which is a completely distinct population of cells compared to PD-L1 range, negative cells. And then DISA is in a completely distinct cell population, which like other cells are PD-L1 positive cells. As a note, these are all individual images that come out of the multispectral imaging experiment. We go through the experiment, we'll find out the series of ratio images, and we're also in pseudocolor. So here we have TAPI, so PD-L1 looks like on its own, B7H4 keratin, CD8. Hopefully we're stitching these things together to come up with one final multiple image. Here's another example of breast cancer section. This particular case was negative for PD-L1. So here again we can see B7H4 co-expressed with keratin, a number of DISA positive cells, but there are no PD-L1 positive cells in this particular case. Moving over to ovarian cancer, another example that was positive for all three checkpoint control proteins. Here PD-L1 staying positive in green. We have DISA positive cells overlapping with keratin, and then again a number of B7H4 positive cells. Staining summary is shown here for breast cancer with each different blood-based stain and the two types, and then positive for DISA, which are all of them B7H4 and PD-L1. Similar layout here for ovarian cancer. The super summary is shown here, where 33% of the PD-L1 positive cases, breast cancer cases were positive for PD-L1, 68% were positive for B7H4, and all cases have DISA positive cells detected. And importantly, 75% of the cases has at least two checkpoint control proteins, which is important piece of information. On the side of ovarian, 36% of the cases were PD-L1 positive, well half were positive for B7H4, and all the one were positive for DISA. And in this particular case, 55% of the cases expressed at least two checkpoint control proteins. So you can imagine it would be important to understand which immune checkpoint control proteins are expressed in these different cases, which can help guide therapy decisions moving forward, as a lot of these immune checkpoint control proteins have overlapping functions. So in way of a summary of this whole thing, this presentation, we have set up a multiplex IHC panel to detect PD-L1, B7H4, and DISA, along with CD8 and keratin. The initial evaluation of breast and ovarian cancer performed for co-expression of at least two immune checkpoint control proteins detected in 75% and 65% of cases tested respectively. PD-L1 and DISA expression was observed in independent cell populations, while B7H4 is co-expressed with keratin. And then we're working on follow-up panels, which are in development, and this is coming through our continued work to build our portfolio. Again, PD-L2 and PD-1, and additional PD-L1 antibodies, IDOs, and 3 of these two. We have a lot of ongoing effort with development of rabbit anti-mouse antibodies, as well as mouse anti-human antibodies, and a portfolio on that way. And then also interested in targets coming from areas outside of the checkpoint control cell-based therapy. For example, we have EGFR-B3 IHC antibody that we're going to be releasing shortly, which is of course targeted in the cell-based therapy space. In terms of example follow-up panels, just a couple of more quick examples. Here is looking at breast cancer with the panels of interest. Looking at three color stains where we have again PD-L1 clones, 1L3N staining green, along with FOXP3 in yellow and CD8 in red. And so the concept behind the secret panel, of course, centered around the interest of PD-L1. Then also the relevance of the ratio of CD8 FOXP3 cells. So this secret panel would enable you to simultaneously measure PD-L1 as well as measure the ratio of Tregs to effector T cells. On the right, we have a similar panel again with PD-L1 clone 1L3N in green, this time with CD3 in yellow and CD8. So here we can look at PD-L1 as well as a broader analysis of the cell population within the within the actual tissue section. And then finally, we have a human lung cancer case named here with PD1 now in green, along with CD3, CD8, subkeratin, PD-L1. Happy to enable you to look at PD-L1 along with the structure of PD-1 in context of T cells and tumor cell keratin. And then focusing in on the top right here, we can see this nice little section where we see PD-L1 is magenta, which is staining separately from the cytokeratin positive cells here. And we can see a number of T cells that are in and around the actual PD-L1 positive cells and cytokeratin positive cells. So at this point, I think we're going to pause for one more poll question.
Yep, that is correct, Matt. So we do have one more poll question for the audience right now, and I will be launching that on the screen. So the poll question we have is, what is your favorite tumor immunology panel? So the answers we have here are PD-L1, FOXC3, CD8, and the second answer is PD-L1, CD3, CD8, and the third is CD3, CD8, FOXC3, and then also PD-L1, EH, G7, H4, BISTAR, KRT, and CD8, and the last one is other. So if the audience would please get their answers in, that would be greatly appreciated. Also, I do encourage the audience to keep sending in their questions. We have received a lot of questions so far, and I really appreciate it. If you could please keep sending in your questions. So I will be closing this poll question right about now and sharing the answers with the audience. So 17% of you voted for PD-L1, FOXC3, CD8, 8% of you voted for PD-L1, CD3, CD8, 16% of you voted for CD3, CD8, FOXC3, and the majority of you, 34% of you voted for PD-L1, G7, H4, or other. So I will be handing the mic here back to Matt. So Matt, if you want to say some closing remarks, that would be great.
Okay, will do. Okay, so with that, I just wanted to thank everyone for logging in today and for your time listening, and I would be very happy to answer any questions that you have. And if you'd like to follow up after the fact, my contact information is shown on the screen here. So with that, I will be happy to answer questions.
Perfect. So we'll kick off the question and answer portion in just a moment. So here's the audience keep sending in their questions. So the first question we have here for you, Matt, is what are the new IHC validated antibodies against PD-1, PD-L2, and others expected to come out?
Yeah, so for the new PD-L1 antibodies, PD-L2, PD-1, TIM3, and IDO, we are planning on releasing these antibodies later this month. So by the end of October, we'll have these commercially available for everybody.
Perfect. So the next question we have is, how would you solve the dilemma of choosing the right antibody due to non-specific cross-reactivity and passive trapping of antibodies inside the cell?
Well, I think that the way to choose the right antibody for this approach is through chromogenic IHC validation. Think about which antibody you want to use for multiplex IHC, having the best possible IHC validated antibodies. There you go. All the antibodies that we tested, essentially all of them that are IHC validated have translated well to the multiplex IHC setting.
Perfect. Thank you for the answer. So the next question we have for you is, do we need MWT after stain 4?
Do you need a microwave treatment after the fourth stain? If you're going to do a fifth stain, then the answer is yes. You do not need to do microwaving after your last stain in the sequence. Once you've done that final antibody application and secondary antibody and reaction, you can then go straight into imaging. But if you're going to do any sequence antibody application, you do need a microwave to get rid of the antibodies from previous rounds.
Perfect, thank you. So the next question we have is, with serial staining, each staining step/microwave is only tyramide amplification or both antibody incubation plus tyramide amplification. Let me know if you can repeat that.
I'll try to answer. I think after each step you have to do a new primary antibody incubation, followed by secondary antibody incubation, followed by your tyramide reaction. That also leads to the deposition of your fluorochromes. And then after you go through your microwave treatment, you would wash away your primary and secondary antibody. And then you need to come back in again, do your primary antibody, secondary antibody, and then return my reaction. And then repeat. So yes, you do need to do all those steps each time you go through, once you go through a staining room.
Great, thank you for that. So the next question we have is there a difference in MHIC performance based on type of sample, so paraffin, embedded, or frozen section?
We have done very little work at the time with frozen section using multiplex approach for this experiment. So I can't really comment specifically at this point as to whether they work equally in both contexts. I think the key is that you need antibodies that work with frozen sections as your input for your panel development. And then from there, you simply need a disruption step that will enable you to multiplex, whatever that might be for frozen section. For FFPE, the anti-retrieval step fits in very nicely. In frozen sections where you wouldn't have that, you need to think about an alternative way of disrupting your antibody, which might be an acid wash or some other heating step to supplement or replace the microwave step that you use with FFPE.
Perfect, thank you for the answer, Matt. So the next question we have is, how would you use multiplex IHC for intracellular antigens?
Yeah, so this approach works perfectly fine for intracellular antigens. So in all the images that I showed today, we had cytokeratin, which is the cytoplasmic protein. When you do your actual section for IHC, you're exposing, of course, the membrane, but it's sliced through, you're exposing the cytoplasm as well. So the localization of the actual protein itself should not matter. Not like you're doing slow, for example, where you need to permeabilize cells to enable staining of intracellular protein. In the FFPE space, where you've done sectioning, you have access to all these proteins. And we haven't noticed any issues with the cytoplasmic or nuclear protein not working as well as membrane protein. Everything is accessible and works fine.
Perfect. All right, so we'll move on to the next question here. So the next question is, for PD-L1, which fluorophore did you use in the antibody titration phase?
Yeah, so in the antibody titration phase, we focused in on a few different antibodies for PD-L1. And so that's your question. You just essentially need to make a choice about which fluorochrome you're going to use for a lot of these steps initially. We had at one point used Alexa-48 for some of the titration work, and then we also switched over to 50 for the titration work.
Great, thank you for that. So the next question we have is, since different fluorochromes have significant differences in fluorescence intensity, how would you standardize the signal and assign relative staining as positive or negative?
Right, so that gets complicated making a call on which signal is positive and negative. I think the first part of the question is how do you balance out the signals. We typically balance out the signals through some of the experiments that I've shown around testing all the antibodies to fluorochrome, helping come up with a panel that's as balanced as possible. It's not always possible to have every signal perfectly balanced, so you want to get as close as possible. And so the balance also way that we're measuring is through mean fluorescence. The ideal setting is to have a series of defined positive and negative cell pellets used as a reference, essentially to establish your cutoff for define series tissues that go with positive and negative, go through, establish your cut points for what you're calling positive and negative. But it certainly is one of the bigger challenges in setting up these panels in a robust way.
Great, thank you for that. So the next question we have is, how quantitative is this technique, and how quantitative is this technique? Can it be used to evaluate the level of expression of molecules?
Yeah, the technique is not particularly quantitative due to the fact that you're using enzymatic reactions. The detection pretty much wipes out your ability to accurately quantitate signal. However, you can do some relative measurements, and you can use standards to get an approximation of signal intensities of being. So we've done some work, for example, with HER2 in the model where there are defined negatives 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus cell pellets. You can see a nice linear curve basically when you're looking at cell pellets. But you can go back and look at the example, line that with your standards you use. So you can get to some measurements that way, but the multiplex IHC with TSA is certainly not a quantitative method.
Great, thank you so much for that answer, Matt. So the next question we have is, how long is a typical 5-color MHIC from start to finish?
Yeah, it typically takes about 2 days. So when we run these manually, often the first day you do three colors, and then overnight, and then the second day you wrap it up. So it's definitely a rather long procedure. Which is why I was mentioning in the presentation that an automated solution to this would very much be desirable due to the fact that the protocol is long. The protocol is long again because you have to go through to your primary incubation, secondary incubation, chain-wide reaction, and go through your microwave steps. Then ultimately need to let everything cool back down. So it ultimately takes around 3 hours per color.
Thank you so much for the answer. So the next question we have is, what fluorescent dyes will work best for colocalization?
Yeah, well, I think the key for colocalization is that you have a broad gap in your spectrum. So we've done the most work looking at this with fluorescent dyes, like 48 and 647, where they're completely distinct, and you don't have to worry all that much about spectral overlap. That's actually a question, an important point to make around setting up these panels, because definitely a consideration that you want to include in your decision on how to set up the panel is if you know they're going to have co-expression, you'd like to keep those in fluorochromes that are very different from each other. So in addition to balancing signals or other considerations like this, they can have a big impact on the performance of the panel. So if you know you have 2 cytoplasmic proteins that are going to express the same cells, so make sure the fluorochrome those are very distinct.
Great, so we'll move on to the next question here. So the question is, how do you determine the threshold for positive versus negative in multiplex IHC, and are you using cell pellets as positive or negative reference?
Yeah, this is similar to a question that was recently asked. Determining positive and negative is a bit of a complicated component. To use the cell pellets is very useful if you have a series of defined cell lines that you know that you can use to help establish your cutoff. Alternatively, if you have tissues that are defined, you can use those as well to help establish what your cutoff should be.
Great, so we'll move on to the next question here. So the question is, for the fluorescent markers, will the color change if there's no colocalization, or if one cell expresses more than one marker?
Well, at the end of the day, the actual image that you're collecting is grayscale, and then you have all those individual images that I showed at one point in the slide series, and so you pseudo-color those and overlay them. So on one hand, you have a snapshot of each individual channel, so you don't have to worry about colors coming together and creating murky colors that are hard to interpret everything individually. And then you ultimately put those together to make a composite, control the color, and basically pseudo-coloring to help enable a nice blend of colors if you have multiple targets per cell.
Perfect. So we do have a couple of audience questions here, and I do encourage the audience to keep sending in their questions. So the next question is, what is your MWT protocol, and is there any less harsh potential treatment?
Yeah, for the microwave treatment, we typically just perform antigen retrieval like you would for a standard IHC. We have to follow the exact same parameters that we use. Are there more gentle approaches that you can take? I think the answer is yes. We have not explored those quite yet. We're very interested in looking at that. Again, you don't need to use microwaving. We simply use that because it's a good way to disrupt your primary vector antibodies. Alternative ways that you can do this, such as acid treatment or high salt. But yeah, so this one we're focusing on essentially mirroring the antigen retrieval step.
Perfect, thank you. So the next question is, can you use the antibodies used for IHC for IS as well, and do you expect the same signal in those assays?
Yes, so the antibodies that will work well in this multiplex setting are IHC-validated antibodies. And so we would expect the same, and we do see the same results from chromogenic IHC stain over to the TSA-based IHC stain. At the end of the day, it's an IHC protocol that's being performed, and that's the key to the performance of the antibody itself. So the transition from chromogenic IHC to TSA-based IHC is fairly seamless.
Great, thank you for that answer. So the next question we have is, how long can tissue sections be stored without significant loss of fluorescence intensity?
Yeah, so that's one drawback of going with an IF-based IHC approach is, unlike chromogenic IHC, where you can store slides forever and go back to the same time to reanalyze, relook at the slides. When we stain with IF, the fluorochromes ultimately lose activity. So we like to do our imaging within a week, and it's probably not a good idea to let it go much longer.
Great, thank you for that. So the next question we have is, was exposure time for all fluorophores relatively the same?
I would need to go back and look. We try to keep them as close as possible, and we always try to keep them within a couple of hundred milliseconds. I didn't jot down the exact exposure times for all of the antibodies in the panel, but we don't force them to be the same. We keep them optimal for each particular antibody.
Perfect. So we'll move on to the last couple of questions we're getting in from the audience. So the question is, how can you differentiate colocalizational signal colors for those that turn to what you singularly use as yellow, blue, and purple versus single signal colors?
Yeah, if I understand the question right, again, when you actually do the analysis where you're picking off each target simultaneously, the way that we can distinguish fluorochromes is through the use of the nuanced camera, the multispectral imaging camera, which helps us distinguish similar fluorochromes with similar yet different spectral emission fingerprints. And then ultimately, we end up with, again, a series of individual images that are in grayscale, which you do color to put back together against composite. If your composite looks like the color overlap is confusing, you have to bear in mind that ultimately you're dealing with a series of individual stains you're looking at, so you don't have that confusion.
Perfect. So I think we're wrapping up to the last question right about now. So the question is, could you use isotope controls for multiplex IHC as you would for IS?
You can. We don't routinely do that. We use isotope controls. We have a very nice rapid isotope control, one number 3900 that we initially were using, but we primarily use positive and negative cell lines in our controls. But isotope controls can be very useful for putting up the panel graph.
Great, thank you so much, Matt. We really appreciate you taking the time to answer all those questions. And we have reached the end of the question and answer portion of this webinar. And if you do have any further questions, the audience can always send them to the email address showing on your screen. Also, make sure you register for CSP's next webinar. And thank you, everyone, for participating in today's conference. You will be receiving a follow-up email from XTalks with access to the recorded archive for this event. A survey window will be popping up on your screen shortly. Your participation is greatly appreciated. I will help us to improve our webinars. Now, please join us in thanking our speaker for today, Matthew R. Silver. We hope you have found this conference informative. Have a great day, everyone.
For inviting me here today. It's a pleasure to be back in Boston. Always nice to see many old friends. I'll try a triple summer show today. I'm going to talk about background. I'm going to talk about storage itself. I'm going to talk about some numbers which are 3 areas that I know nothing about. But as it often happens, there's some incredibly talented people joining your lab. And so I decided to work by Andrea Viale. And much of the work is taking place at the Institute of Applied Cancer Science in the development of the novel inhibitor of oxidative phosphorylation. I'll tell you to talk about before getting into that, I just want to mention that Michael particularly. I mean, this is the situation where you really can see that there is impact. And this comes to the sort of the location, this specifically work that Alex Shaw and Alice have described in the development of private and throughout in this particular condition. But what we're learning more and more as we approach the issue of the complexity of cancer is that these other mutations that are directly targetable don't come around as often as one would like to see them. In fact, when Nassim and I joined forces into approaching this Institute of Applied Cancer Science, first in Boston and now in Janssen, the idea was that we were going to create an opportunity for immediate translation that would be coming from discoveries like the BRCA mutation and then next to them a group that would really implement drug discovery. But in fact, the functional validation of cancer genome is more about context and approaches that allow to identify particular vulnerability of cancer cells versus the other situation where you have a completely mutation in front of you. And as you know, many of these responses end up being transit anyway, and so we have to really think differently about the problem. This without emphasizing that, of course, targeted therapies for many of those compounds that Michael mentioned really fit better compared to conventional therapies, so the percentage of drugs that have been approved compared to traditional therapies over these, this is what's much better, is a statistic for drugs that entered the clinical trials between 2004 and 2005, and before the April 2011, we keep monitoring some of these things. But essentially there are multiple reasons for failures and also opportunities for changes in the way we approach the problem. The biology clearly is affected after a lack of understanding of the depth of alterations that take place in cancer and the multiple mechanisms that ensure cancer cell survival. That limited our progress, and we were really naive when, during the 90s and started to develop, for example, kinase inhibitors, assuming, for example, if you were to develop a MET inhibitor, then a ROR inhibitor, CDK inhibitor, and so on and so forth, that you would see significant impact in the absence of knowing really an underlying overall causes of the problem and what's required for tumor maintenance. Clearly, the development of these different efforts, and most importantly, we need to take a different approach. And one of the things that you will hear about today, dealing with this whole issue of targeting the tumor as a whole, and really thinking about tumors as a problem of an organ in its own context, as opposed to specifically being solely thinking of the cancer cell in a context of a cell autonomous system. One thing that's really important is also this last point, drug discovery and development. And so this whole translation piece has really been sandwiched between within the academic course, basically, either of discovering mechanisms or implementing clinical trial approaches. And often what has happened is that scientists in industry will take some of these publications of this work with scientists and meetings and so on, and then implement their own pipeline of drugs and diagnostic approaches, and then go back to academia, essentially testing conditions, asking clinicians in the various clinics, various institutions to perform clinical trials with them, without really any getting in touch during that time to be able to really figure out what the best approach would be. And again, this becomes extremely important because this translation piece is very essential for success. And it requires a different level of commitment from both sides, and really wanted to be stringent around the clinical pathological validation of these approaches, and the ability to seek impact in preclinical models in a different way that was been done in the past. Simply looking for impact on a simplified single model, impact on growth, is not sufficient to actually want initiation of the clinical side. It has to work differently. And unfortunately, what we see more and more is that basic science continues to be solely rewarded by the ability to push forward novel concepts. And of course, because the next paper, once you discover that particular phenomenon occurs, and you describe it for the first time, you get a lot of recognition. The next paper continues to go deeper in the story and move on. Those labs that are trendsetting, they're not more completely the need for translational research. So there's lack of commitment from the basic research side, and there's enormous mandate from the people that are not working in the industry to really put forth a movement effort in this direction. And just to talk about complexity today, I really said a story that deals specifically with thyroid cancer and tries to understand the context in this particular situation. So I talked about this. I can just probably switch to the story itself. So this is a story I mentioned that was started by Andrea Viale and Janssen. And it's about, it really started with assessment of the impact of extinguishing RAS in tumors using one of the usable models that have been developed for KRAS reversible induction. And really trying to figure out if there are cells that are left behind, how to approach the problem. And we clearly know from this model developed by Newman and Al-Shandin in Ron Tedinya's lab, that what we started to see in this model, that why there is absolute dependency for growth. So when you switch off RAS, cells tumors disappear. There is, after 4 to 5 minutes, tumors will reappear again in the absence of RAS induction. Some of the tumors supposed to be activated through genetic arrangement, DNA expression, but you see that tumors that reappear without RAS. So the question is, and this in the case when we look at what happened in clinically with clinical course of treatment with BRCA inhibitors, CT1 melanoma or other conditions, EGFR and so on, is that you actually see impressive responses, but then tumors will reappear. And so then you can challenge them with additional agents as people are showing, and so it's possible that Neil will talk about this today. But still the question is, what's left behind and why are these cells dying? And you can have to take also by distribution issues and possibility no cells are reached by the death, but there could be different underlying biology, and that's the question we'd like to ask. And what we really saw when we started to do this is that tumors, once you switch off RAS, don't completely disappear. You see that there are islets of cells that remain in tumors. They don't divide, but they're sitting there and they're not dying, and these are weeks and months after treatment. And to be able to study this system, we actually were able to establish field-type cultures, living cultures of the cancer tumors, and establishing this system then could actually do reversible induction in vitro as well as in vivo. And so here, for example, in vitro system, you take these
tumors out of the mouse and put them in the presence of doxycycline, so as activated, they grow up to reaching a CEO of 400 cells. If you switch off and put these cells in doxycycline, most of the cells actually die, and you see these remnants, and you can bring back doxycycline and you will see regrowth or whatever is left. So this sort of mimics the situation that we've been characterizing in vitro, and you can do this in vivo as well, and we'll see the same phenomena, RAS+, eliminate RAS, restore RAS. And I don't need to go into very much detail, but essentially you will see inactivation of RAS for biochemical means as well as its downstream signaling like phosphorylation and so on. As soon as you reactivate RAS, you actually then deactivating a proliferative complex that's shown here also by expression of doxycycline. The surviving cells actually seem to express stem cell markers. This is some of the histology with CD44 and CD133, where you see positivity, and this is also looking at this by flow cytometry. And in fact, if you look at the same context with the markers, you see that there is an enrichment in web cells that are dying from apoptosis as a result of the switching of KRAS. And these cells are actually enriched for these markers, the CD133, CD144, as shown here. So it seems like there is a protected population that survives KRAS extinction. As soon as you activate KRAS, as I mentioned before, you see that the cells actually very rapidly, within 48 hours, are rolled back into the cycle. So they require and potentially activated cell proliferation. And when we look at it from a functional perspective, these cells in fact have RIDE-enriched into initiating cells. So it's a population that is protected after KRAS inactivation remains quiescent. You can take these cells, reimplant them, reactivate KRAS, and show that in fact the tumor initiating frequency is highly enhanced. Now the question is, of course, if there were to be transmission of relevance to this, could we actually verify whether by treating with signal transduction inhibitors we would make a similar phenotype? Of course, we don't have drugs today that directly block KRAS. In fact, we saw that this is in fact the case. So if we use a combination of a MET inhibitor and or PI3K inhibitor in these steroid classes, we can actually increase the tumor initiating cell frequency quite a lot. So what I've shown thus far is that the subset of cells with features of tumor initiating cells seem to be able to survive the ablation, either genetically or chemically induced or oncogenic pathways. So this is really what started us in trying to understand what's going on in these cells and how are they able to survive. And by formation special profiles of the two populations, again, I would point out that these populations that we analyze are actually quiescent. So we take the full-form spheres from the KRAS, tumors grown in presence of KRAS, and compare them to the remnants that are surviving in the absence of KRAS. So there is no impact on any cell cycle differential mechanism. And when we compare these, we see that there is an enrichment in the exon transfer chain, that oxidation, and lysosomal autophagy. And this is at the level of microarrays, here is some of the validation with PCR. And we also see, for example, that mitochondrial regulator like PGC1 alpha are upregulated compared to the KRAS cells. There's a long list of genes that come up as a result of this, again, from exon transfer chain regulation, mitochondria, and autophagy. This is some of the validation that can be done when treating with RAS extinction with signal transduction inhibitors. You see the same induction of PGC1 alpha and beta, and you see the same regulation downstream of this. And what was interesting to see that in fact the surviving cells are increasing mitochondria as measured by the abundance of this channel BDAC1 or with mitotracker in immunofluorescence. We see similar phenotypes that we are staining for DAPI, CD44, and BDAC1, and the surviving cells in the absence of KRAS have a much stronger staining for mitochondria. And if you look at actual mitochondrial staining in the absence of KRAS, you see very distinct structural changes in the mitochondria. And you look at autophagy, you also see that there is quite a significant induction of autophagy in the remnants. And this is an enlargement of the managed KRAS. You see, in fact, we have evidence of microphagy. We also see very increased effects. And the other thing that we really see an increase in accumulation, so these are neutral lipids in the absence of KRAS. The way I'm thinking about this right now is that as a result of the KRAS cells are in a very active anabolic state. The moment you switch off KRAS or block cell signaling, you're really turning them and putting them into catabolic state. And you seem to induce phenomena that are there to allow the cells to cope with this excess nutrients and the shutdown of the anabolic pathway. The mitochondria might be required not just for energy consumption, but really for energy generation, but to be able to cope with the catabolic events. There's a number of slides here that really highlight the connections with functional phenomena. You see that you have increased oxygen consumption in the shutdown of KRAS. You see that there is increased polarization of mitochondria upon switching off KRAS. Although there seems to be already a subpopulation of cells in the KRAS positive population that seems to have hyperpolarized mitochondria. So this might be interesting because it could suggest that some of these cells pre-exist. You have an induction of ROS as you might expect as a result of this. So there is increasing mitochondrial activity in these cells, and then we're really interested in the question of whether there should be a way of targeting these cells selectively. Again, from a metabolic standpoint, we see several alterations in metabolic pathways as a result of the inactivation of KRAS, and particularly within impairment of glycolysis. So this is also corroborated by what we know about KRAS induction of aerobic glycolysis. You shut down this pathway, you see regulation is metabolized. There's a number of box experiments that I'm not showing that actually corroborate data. It seems like the KRAS myocells have a very, very enhanced oxidative phosphorylation through mitochondrial activity, and they seem to be working, mitochondria seem to be working at the maximum rate. This is actually the plot that you normally see of oxygen consumption rate when you start blocking mitochondrial function and then uncoupling it. This is what you see with KRAS itself, this is what you see when you activate KRAS, so you can increase mitochondrial rate to start with, but also seems like these mitochondria are already working at the maximum rate. So if you can cover mitochondrial function, why you see an enhancement in the KRAS cells, you're seeing essentially you've already worked at the maximum rate, and this is a normalization of those data, where you see essentially these reported on the same scale to be able to detect the fact that while the KRAS cells can still enhance the mitochondrial respiration in the presence of uncouplers, you don't see this with the KRAS extinguished cells. So, and when you look at the energetic status of these cells, you actually see that in the presence of KRAS, you can't really, and if you add mitochondrial inhibitors, you're not able to sustain ATP levels because these cells are relying particularly on phosphorus for the generation of ATP. While in the KRAS context, you're able to fully recover your ability to produce ATP through glycolysis. And so then the question that we ask is phosphorus inhibition synthetic legal with oncogene enforcement, and could we take advantage of this to move things towards translation? In fact, what we see is that the treatment with oligomycin for 24 hours in the absence of KRAS completely eliminates the remaining cells. And that's what you see here. If you do this with the signal detection inhibitors, you essentially have the same data, so this looks very promising from a translation perspective. We have some initial data on oligomycin, which of course is not a target, also has a number of non-targeted effects. When you see animals, for example, you will very quickly induce seizures, so you have to be careful how you administer it. In the protocols that we have developed, we actually see that we can actually improve survival on the integration of RAS function when we treat with oligomycin, and that's the start of what we would like to do in this particular condition by targeting oxidative phosphorylation in this context. So what I am talking about is that essentially if you have a fully formed tumor and you treat it with signal detection inhibitors, you're going to see dramatic responses in particular tumor situations. And to see this, what we believe is that the residual cells that rely on mitochondrial activity for survival, they are quiescent, and ultimately they will be able to restore their function to regaining some of the signal detection properties. So what we would really like to do is targeting at this level. And what's really intriguing now is that when we look at human tumors derived from neoadjuvant trials, so trials in which patients are treated with, in this case, this gemcitabine radiation before being operated, is that why don't we match mitochondrial staining which is this one, in the tumor itself before treatment, upon treatment, you see many more cells having acquired mitochondrial staining. And we believe, therefore, that this could be a general phenomenon of resistance. So whenever there is growth inhibition, impact on cell division, you might have an activation of mitochondrial function as a result of shutting down or signaling, and this could give an opportunity for treatment. In the remaining few minutes, I just want to show you that we indeed have an oxidative phosphorylation because started it. On actually trying to discover inhibitors of if1 signaling through a phenotypic assay, and in doing so, we were able to identify inhibitors that potent blockers of mitochondrial function. In fact, these inhibitors do exert impact on it, but as a result of decreased oxygen consumption in the tumor, you will see that hypoxia is reduced. It's in fact something that impacts oxidative phosphorylation, because if you grow cells in galaxies, you will see that there is a dramatic sensitivity to the inhibitors, and we actually were able to do through mass spectrometry identify the physical interaction of these components with the mitochondria. They have activity in vivo, and this is, for example, one of the experiments with one particular compound that we have identified where we see clear impact on tumor growth, and where we have impact in vivo on hypoxia and HIF1 alpha that gets decreased as a result of treatment. And we also notice a context of synthetic lethality in cells that tumors that derived from tumors that carry inactivation of enzymes of the glycolytic pathway. This is in particular is a generally deficient model or a PGD deficient model, and when we treat these models with inhibitors, we see very clear induction of apoptosis, and in vivo we see dramatic tumor regression. So the same applies to situations where you have a high hypoxic context. We see this in leukemias, collaboration with the leukemia group at MD Anderson, where we see that while normal CD34 cells are not significantly affected by the inhibitors, we see incredible impact in terms of reduction of proliferation and induction of apoptosis in the blood. And in fact, so we're thinking about multiple opportunities here. Again, in the context of really wanting to apply this agent to tumors that reveal themselves as being hypersensitive to mitochondrial inhibition. You can think about tumors with glycolysis deficiency. You can think about the combination of the chemo or the kinase mechanisms that I described before. The leukemias and the traumas in which we have a high hypoxic phenotype with the overexpression of HIF1 alpha definition and linked to particular genetic alterations, and as well as something I can show you, we also have data in combination with radiotherapy. It all goes back to this concept of synthetic lethality and the importance of understanding the physiology of tumors. I clearly do believe, like everybody else, about the importance of the genetics, but again, this has to be brought back into the context of the kind of things that Paul Potter before we were talking about when looking at the tumor as an ecosystem, or we thought just want to talk about the team. This is my own laboratory. This work on this project. These are our collaborators in the pancreas cancer. This is Team Ethan, been my collaborator for years in developing functional genomic screen. Alec decided to develop this model, and we've been in collaboration with all of them. Of course, working in collaboration with Costa Physiologist in Kansas lab, and of course, Ron is a dear friend and collaborator as well. And the Oslos project is actually led by Joe Marshall and Miguel Francisco in the answer. Thanks very much. Thank you. This concludes the first session. We're going to take a break now until 10:30, and we'll pick up at the start of the second session. Our first speaker of the second session, Pete Wade Harper. Our next speaker is Dr. Steve Key. The third and final speaker in session 3 is Professor John Glennis. John is a professor of cell biology at Harvard Medical School, certainly one of the world's experts in the area of S6 kinase and mTOR signaling. John.
Cell Signaling Technology and MIT for sponsoring this event, and especially Mike for really organizing this really great day of science. My lab has been working for many years on these pathways here. So just post the test. There we go. On the rapid pathway, and pro pathway. We're going to do today is we focus on one study in our lab, which is focused on role of M4 cis kinase in regulating various aspects of cell metabolism, cell survival, cancer cells. And before I start, those of you who were here this morning and saw Steve Dini's talk, if you're like Wade and I, we see Steve quite often. We don't know when he's going to be very serious or not. So I decided to go investigate. I went down into the men's restroom, and sure enough, there's Bob, and he's thinking about some algorithms and looking at protein interaction studies. This was a long time ago, so they made a movie out of this, and they actually brought this new actor bringing this. All right, so let's go to torque. Okay. So I'm going to focus on the torque pathway. This is where I wrote this.
レンタサイクルあるんじゃないですかね。
おかえりなさい。
どうも。
どこまで行ってきました？
入り口まで行けました。入り口のちょっと先まで。
浅間山荘の？
いや、浅間山荘じゃなくて、ここの
でしょ。
この辺まで
登山口まで行ったの？何時間かかった？2
時間。
歩いてだって。行けるところまで行くっていう。
あの先良かったです。行かなくてね。砂利道だから。
いやでも行きたかったんですけど。
はい。
レンタサイクルってあったんですか？
ありました。
電動自転車ですから。山も
登りはね、
いくらでし
だからね、こちらの方を使えばいいんですよ。このカントリーっていうので、3時間1500円、それで1日2500円。そう。
こういうバッテリー積んでますので。
そう積んでる
ので。山でも
登れる。これだったら大丈夫。ちょっと登りっきりだからね、1000円。1時間ね、3時間1500円。
向こうの布引きだとか千曲川の方へ行くにはそのぐらいで十分。
今お泊まりになってるんですか？
いやいや、もう帰るんです。
そうですか。じゃあこの次にね。
また。また来ます。ちょっと今日は。
軽井沢駅3番線から発車いたします。ご注意ください。3番線から軽井沢駅はご利用ください。長野駅ご利用の時は2番線から列車17